Something funny, his little train busting at the distance.
Yeah, well, I thought they were going to run a reverse or something because they met for the longest time on the sideline, and here comes that San Diego 2-minute offense.
The bombs away offense of the San Diego Chargers. If anybody can get him down there, Fouts is the man. Christensen might have had the game winner on his last reception, the touchdown catch. With 1:43 left to play, the Chargers will try to get in the end zone. Down by 7. Fouts looks. He's got Anderson, and he is a load. This guy's got more. Look at Anderson. He's inside the 40. Look, and he's still going. And Anderson's down to the 33-yard line.
And then a right cross by Mike Haynes brings him down. What a play. 38 yards. Well, this guy's going to be busy for the San Diego Chargers for the next number of years. Congratulations, Mr. Alex Spanos, for signing him to a contract. There's one shot at him. There's 2, 3, 4. Watch this right cross by Mike Haynes bringing him down. Whoop. Yes, sir. To the ground. He is a brilliant athlete.
He gets the Chargers in position, but field goals are of no account now. They need a touchdown. They need an extra point to send this to overtime. Washington has been beaten by Dallas. Final score, the Cowboys 13, the Redskins 7. Here at San Diego, Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. 1:30 left to play in regulation. Maybe in the game, the Raiders are leading 34-27, but the Chargers roaring back, hitting big plays, and now they have the ball first down at the 33-yard line of the LA Raiders. Chandler on the right flank. Jermaine Johnson on the left. Bounce goes to Little Train James. Look at him go. Up the middle, he's down to the 19-yard line. 1:23 to play and running.
Look, I'm dead serious when I say this. I want him to play more. I don't want him to stop. Keep it up.
This has been great. It has. Here's Fouts on first down. Stands in. He throws. He's got a man who loses the ball. Charlie Joyner at the 10-yard line. Sam Seal was right with him for the Raiders.
He hasn't been used a lot today. Rather surprising to see Charlie let this one slip away from him. Full blitz coming by the Raiders. Picked up. That's an easy catch, but Charlie couldn't hang on. 2nd and 10.
Fouts is unbelievable. He sees everything out there.
Absolutely. And he backs away from the center, so he's got a good field of vision, and when he's on, he's beautiful.
1:07 to play in the game. That is the game clock superimposed at the top of your screen. It's 27 for the Chargers, 34 for the Raiders. So San Diego has to hit into the end zone. Fouts goes down to 28. Only the second sack of him today. The game clock now shows 1:02 to play, but a big down arrives. It's going to be 3rd down coming up.
We got a flag down in the defensive backfield of the Raiders. Greg Townsend got the sack.
Holding. Number 45 on the defense. First down.
James Davis. 5 yards and an automatic first down. You have no idea how big a penalty that was. Because of the sack, the Chargers would have had to take a timeout. It's the last 2 minutes. So they set the ball and start the clock. Boy, what a saving penalty against the Raiders for the Chargers.
And, of course, it is also a first down with 1:02 to play. First down for the Chargers. 14-yard line of the Raiders.
I got to get the ball to James here, don't you? Somehow.
There's a lot of people out there who aren't bad with it. They're all in the game. Joyner goes in motion. Fouts stands in, takes a look, makes a throw. It's tipped beautifully by the Raiders. Rod Martin got a hand on the ball to break up what would have been a touchdown throw as Lionel James was open.
Ran a curl route out of the backfield. Martin had a perfect drop. Just reading the eyes of the quarterback. Sean Jones, Piquel, both with arms up. Martin able to get up there. Just tipped the ball away, or you're right, that's 6 points.
So the numbers break down. It's been even all day. Raiders by 3 at halftime. Now the Raiders by 7, but the Chargers challenging with their brilliant veteran quarterback Dan Fouts. 57 seconds to play in regulation. now the Chargers use a timeout. So Dan Fouts comes over, make sure that he gets all the counsel he can as the game is on the line.
I think the Raiders changed defenses on him, saw something he didn't expect, and no question he realized the importance of this last 14 yards here for the Chargers. So counsel is good at this point.
The words of Coach Don Coryell looming large all day long. He told his team during the week, if we win, it'll be at the very end of the game. He didn't say anything about overtime, but that could happen if the Chargers can get it in the end zone. Dave Levy, one of the coaches there, Marv Braden, the other.
The Chargers and the Raiders have played one overtime game in their 52. September 14th, 1980. San Diego won that game 30-24.
The AFC West has gained the reputation as the best in football. The Raiders, that's how they stand right now, as you're well aware. Denver, of course, hooking up with the 49ers tomorrow night at Mile High Stadium. Seattle was a winner today, impressively, at New Orleans. Kansas City has gone south. The Chiefs opened up with a 3-1 record. They've now lost 6 games in a row. Coach Makovic took away their free lunches during the week.
Showing blitz here, the Raiders are.
Big rush coming, and here it comes. Fouts stands in, lets it go. Penalty markers down. Man is open. Touchdown, Charlie Joyner. 14 yards and a touchdown.
That's going to be defensive offsides. Touchdown counts.
I'll tell you something, though. This is the Raiders get it back now at 53 seconds to play.
I want to negotiate for another quarter. I don't want sudden death. I want to keep playing. This is the best I've seen in years.
Philly has declined. Touchdown.
Billy Brown on the left. Defensive backfield coach of the Raiders and head coach Tom Flores. Charlie Joyner, a 17-year veteran, has caught more passes than any player in National Football League history. On the receiving end of a big one from Dan Fouts.
That ball looked tipped.
You think this isn't big now? Bob Thomas has had kind of a shaky day, but he's right there on the extra point. 53 seconds to play. The game is tied at 34.
Well, look once again at the touchdown by the San Diego Chargers. A very critical touchdown by the San Diego Chargers. And I thought this ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Well, Fouts was from behind the defense. You see the full blitz coming. Martin. No, not tipped. What a catch by Charlie Joyner. He dropped one earlier, but had plenty of room on Sam Seal, converted wide receiver, and a tie ball game.
So the Raiders will get it back with 53 seconds to play. And Moshenko, the rookie from Michigan State, will hit this as hard as he's ever hit a football in his life. No squid kicking here.
Yeah, that drive started at the San Diego 29 and took, I'd say, maybe a minute and no more than a minute to get the ball in the end zone. 56 seconds to get it that far and in the end zone. Gary Anderson, the big guy in the drive. Fulton Walker back in with bruised ribs.
A little did the Raiders think when they scored with just over a minute to play. They'd have to beat the clock again, but they will now. Game tied, 53 seconds left. Back deep to receive. Fulton Walker's back in the game. Was shaken up earlier. He's in the near side. On the far side is Sam Seal, who was just beaten on that play by Charlie Joyner. Moshenko hits the ball deep. They'll not bring that out. Raiders have 53 seconds to get in field goal range.
Don, you got a choice now if you're the Los Angeles Raiders. Do you try for the field goal range, or do you simply try for overtime, and the biggest play in overtime is the coin flip?
Hey, there's no doubt about what the Raiders do right here. They go for get it downfield as fast and as well as they can and get in field goal range.
Chris Barr's longest field goal in 1985, 41 yards. What a game.
He's made a lot of big ones to win games in his career, and so has Bob Thomas. Now the Chargers, the Bears' all-time leading scorer in his 10 seasons there. The Pressure now on the quarterback of the Raiders, Mark Wilson, to get the ball upfield. He's going to go to the run, and Marcus Allen breaks it out to the 30-yard line as they look to catch the Chargers in an all-out rush. Got ahead for 10. 44 seconds left, and got an official timeout to check the markers.
Raiders take the timeout. Raiders take the timeout. That's a first down by Marcus Allen. Notice the Chargers are playing almost a prevent defense. They're playing a 3-deep zone with.
People have lost a lot of games doing that against the Raiders.
Yeah, it's true.
44 seconds left.
Awful lot of fans out there say, wait a minute, I don't understand why you go to that prevent defense. It doesn't prevent anything. But the science of the defense is all you're trying to do is protect the yardage behind you. You don't care if they catch it in front of you. You're hoping that they either go out of bounds or the clock eats up the time before they get enough yardage to be in a field goal attempt range.
Mark Wilson, a quarterback who's not received many cheers at home in his career as a professional. Most of his career has been spent as a backup to injured Jim Plunkett, which is what brought him to the lineup again this year. Has missed 2 seasons with injuries. In the past as Mark Wilson, playing hurt now, though he's in much better shape than he was a couple of weeks ago. A lot of real estate between the Raiders and field goal range, but it happens fast in this league.
To the offense, it looks like 100 miles. To the defense, it looks like 9 inches.
First down, Raiders. Wilson takes a look. He fires, and it's incomplete at the 35-yard line. It'll be second down and 10 as Billy Ray Schmidt puts on a big league pop on Frank Hawkins. Clock stop with 40 seconds to play, and it's second down and 10 Raiders.
Hard to tell, actually, who's at fault here. Wilson does do a good job of looking down the field. That ball is certainly thrown behind Hawkins.
Game tie, 34-34. Marcus Allen fumbles forward. Carefully constructed by Marcus, I think. Raiders are good at that.
That stops the clock, too. That is
Usually
one.
you get hit head on and the ball pops forward.
That is one smart cookie. Watch him. He's got it there. Does he throw it out of bounds? Absolutely, he throws it out of bounds. No question about it. They mark it and stops the clock. Here we go. It starts again. Now they realize what Marcus Allen was doing. They're not going to let him get away with it. And the Raiders don't realize that the clock is running. Now they finally do.
I think they do. They feel it. They might take overtime. So the Raiders break the huddle at their leisure, and we're going to overtime here at San Diego. Mark Wilson's not even going to take a snap.
Visiting team calls the flip of the coin. And in most instances in overtime, the coin flip has been the biggest factor in determining the outcome of overtime games. And Don Coryell is right on the money, isn't he?
Well, he is.
Think of what they've done. At the end of the first half, they drive from their own 9-yard line down for a field goal. Bob Thomas misses. And in the end of the game, in 56 seconds, they go from their own 29 for 6 points in the end zone.
It is remarkable in overtime games in the National Football League how many are won by the team that wins the toss.
That's it. That's it. That's the biggest play in overtime.
First possession means a lot. Home team makes the call. They, of course, could have a tie game if they should conceivably go 15 minutes of overtime, a full quarter in regular season, and not get a score.
Don, I think the visiting team calls the flip, just as they do at the outset of the game.
Team.
Well, we see who the 2 luckiest players.
George, please call it in the air.
Tail.
You call it tail? It's head. You want the ball?
Here, Charlie, we want the ball.
Pretty basic decisions, taking a while to make.
Well, Martin doesn't know what goal to defend.
Los Angeles won the toss.
No.
Goes to receive.
No. San Diego won the toss.
San Diego, yeah. San Diego did win the toss, and they'll get the ball. And we come back after these messages from your local station.
Sunday on TV's Bloopers. A practical joke with Family Ties' Justine Bateman and her brother Jason. Plus, look what happens to John Matuszak in Laurel and Hardy Home Movies, Monday.
What would you do if you had a half-hour extra every day to spend with your dad?
I would get him to help me teach Ben his tricks. You gotta teach him that stuff before they get too big. I know that because I have a dog.
Channel 4 gives you all the local news at 6 and NBC Nightly News at 6:30. That's all you need to know. And that leaves you an extra half hour a day to play.
I like Channel 4.
Coors showed me how they do things different, all the way down the line. And in heat like this, that's important. Why? Well, heat headies up the taste of beer. Any beer. So if you went down to any Coors warehouse, this is what you'd see. Coors, stored cold. Now, Coors is the only one that can say that. It's expensive, kind of a hassle. But Coors distributors think it makes a difference. Right here. A difference worth tasting. Coors is the one.
I like the comfort of People Express Premium Class and paying for it with the American Express card.
Sure. The card with my name on it.
See what it takes to make a million. Next week at 6.
With Bob Trumpy, this is Don Criqui back at San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium. We're ready to start overtime, and the Chargers have won the toss. One of the reasons we're in overtime was something that happened earlier in the game. Chris Barr in the second quarter put some excitement back in the extra point. It was up, but Billy Ray Smith, an emerging all-pro player for the Chargers, came through and slapped it back. And so, when the final numbers were up at the end of regulation, not final, but regulation numbers, it was 34-34. The Jets have just come from behind on a touchdown pass from Ken O'Brien to a backup tight end, Rocky Cleaver. They lead the favored Dolphins at the Orange Bowl 17-14.
Duper just scored.
Duper just scored after the...
Miami back on top. 50 yards. 21-17 Miami now.
That one has a little under a minute to play. So we start overtime as the Raiders kick off. Lionel James thinks the better of it, and he'll let it come out as a touchback. We're in overtime. Bob Thomas has missed 2 field goals, 35 and 30 yards today. He's made 1.
So you give him another chance in overtime?
I think absolutely. The man is time-tested. Kicked on a national championship team at Notre Dame. Kicked for the Bears for a long time, as we mentioned, as their all-time leading scorer. Right now, the man who makes that happen for the San Diego Chargers, Dan Fouts, gets set to roll it. First down, takes a look, swings it out. He's got a man, but not for much. Gain of 3 is all. Lionel James coming out of the backfield, cuts back at the ball. Time's out of factor now.
Excuse me, an update on that Miami Jet score. Dan Marino to Mark Duper, 50 yards with 41 seconds left.
So you got time for 2-3 more scores.
Yeah.
The way this league is going.
21-17 Miami over the Jets.
Lionel James comes off the field. Wes Chandler, he's been quiet for a while, but he can explode. He's wide to the right. Lower portion of your screen. Fouts, as they pick up the blitz, goes downfield. The ball is caught out to the 45-yard line. Looked like Pete Holohan. Wow. He gets a 23-yarder. He's been quiet all day.
And 400 yards to Dan Fouts. It looks so easy. Absolutely looks easy. First catch of the day by Holohan. Been somewhat forgotten. I think the Raiders are paying so much attention to James, Chandler, Stacy Turan in coverage. Big pickup. By the way, in that Miami game, Duper 8 catches, 217 yards.
This is after he's out 8 weeks with a broken leg. Man jumped. Ed White, 17-year veteran, left early, so they'll call that. And it'll bring up first down and 15. Now, while they sort things out here, let's go back to Bob Costas in New York.
Don, about a minute to play at the Orange Bowl. The Jets have just taken the lead, but Miami comes back. Here's Dick Enberg.
Going deep and open. Touchdown, Mark Duper. Duper has returned, and he is super.
That's Some big stuff happening coast to coast. Right now, Dan Fouts on 1st and 15. Guns long. Going for the ball is Anderson. Nicely played by Lester Hayes of the Raiders, who knocked it away. Look at the two guys there who can run.
Yeah, he made no attempt to intercept that ball, though. You can see that it looks like Lester is betting this is the bomb all the way. You say he just knocks it away. He has no intention whatsoever of trying to intercept that ball.
Bob Thomas gets himself set. But the Raiders right now have San Diego positioned a long way from field goal range, and 2nd down and 15 is coming up for the Chargers. Anderson. He just flies. Anderson is down to the 37-yard line. We're in overtime. The game is tied 34 all. It was a 22-yard run.
Boy, he has made some big plays today. Now watch what happens. For some reason, the defense collapses. One step outside, there's nobody there. Absolutely gone. James gets a block on Stacy Turan. Anderson, that's a quick, what did you say, Dennis? How many yards? 23 yards? 23 yards on the pickup?
Bob Thomas as the pressure builds. Paces the sideline. We're in overtime, tied 34-34. Spencer, head down, bowls ahead, 2 arms on the ball. Smart football with the Raiders hunting footballs right now. And the game ball now is down to the 32-yard line. Dan Fouts at his leisure, not encumbered by any clock ticking out on him. The overtime session shows 12:20 to play. Would only be a tie game if there was no scoring through a full 15-minute overtime. Only in postseason do they go to sudden death and keep playing overtimes. We've seen San Diego one of those in Miami a few years ago. Amos with a couple of misses, but a lot of big makes in his career. Fouts throws. He's got Lionel James. He's in field goal range, and he's not done till he gets to the 17-yard line.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. What an offensive display. Look at Dan Fouts. He's loving it.
Going to be New Year's Eve in San Diego if the Chargers pull this one out.
Especially the way they played the Raiders 2 weeks ago. He's just waiting for James. No question about it. Just a little curl pattern. James is surprised that there's no coverage on him whatsoever.
Lionel James, we need a calculator to get Dennis Mnuchin's numbers together for this. Lionel James with 11 receptions, 167 yards.
Mike Haynes in tackling Lionel James just, I think, knocked himself cold. Ball at the 16. Hey, look, if they score, can we still have one more drive? Can we go? I don't want it to end. Look at that.
If it's through, it's good. I think Spencer might get the ball here, Trump. Here's the final scoring now from Miami. It's 21-17. The Dolphins coming from behind in the last minute to beat the Jets, who come from behind with 1:06 to play. First down. Spencer might get it straight. Now they're going to another runner. They're going to give it to Lionel James, and he's going to take it in for a winning touchdown. The smallest man in the NFL is 8 feet tall. Lionel Little Train James wins it.
17 yards on the carry. And I don't think a Raider laid a glove on him. Look at it. He's 8 feet tall now.
Caesar was never as big in Rome as this man's going to be in San Diego tonight.
James, 7 carries, 50 yards and a touchdown. 11 catches, 167 yards and a touchdown. And one player, Matt Millen, put a hand on him for the last 17 yards.
Let's watch it from another angle.
A great job by the offensive line. McKnight, Clapham, Kowalski, Masick, White, Lachey.
Wow. So the game is over. The Chargers win. We'll be back to San Diego after this.
this Bud's for all that you do.
They said this city was through. You said, no way.
Each day the spirit's growing. Your pride is really showing. You are the power, the man of the hour. You've really got things going. You make America work, and this Bud's for you. For everything you do, America calls on guys like you, 'cause you make America work, and this Bud's for you.
Here's to you, Beechwood aged, for that clean, crisp taste that makes Budweiser the king of beers.
You make America work, and this Bud's for you.
Nobody does it better than Dan Fouts, and certainly not his little man, Lionel Little Train James. This is the play that won the game as Lionel James breaks tackles, puts people down again, heads into the end zone in overtime. And the final numbers are up. The Chargers rally to beat.
This morning, Denver and the L.A. Raiders tied for first with identical 8-4 records. Now, Denver is currently playing at Pittsburgh, and there's just about 2 minutes to go in that ball game, and the Broncos lead it by 1, 24-23. Officially now 1:30 left to play in that ball game. And Atlanta will be receiving here, so that means that Chris Barr is kicking off with Cliff Austin, Dan Wagner, the deep backs on the return. And here is Austin from a yard deep. A flag is already down as he returns to about the 16-yard line, where Jack Squarick brings him down. But